ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। ॐ सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। ॐ समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Hari Om, everybody. I think this announcement I want to make at the beginning of the class because the earlier class went a little bit over and I kind of missed out. So I had talked about starting a Bhagavad Gita chanting class, which is going to start. So the timing will be Saturday, 7:30 Pacific time. Saturday morning, 7:30 to 8 Pacific time. I know some of you from the fundamentals class are not here, but anyway, I'll announce again. So for those of you who are interested in joining the class, you need to WhatsApp me in my personal account, WhatsApp, so that I will start getting, things in order. We have an administrator for that class now. So if you can just quickly send me a WhatsApp. I've got 2 names so far, but then I forgot. I missed out announcing it in the earlier class. So I'm announcing it now before I again go ahead and forget. Okay, so that's how it will be. Anyway, let's come back to our chapter 8. So last time we saw Abhyasa Yoga, we saw Bhagavan said, Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasa na Anyagamina, by the yoga of Abhyas, practice. So by practice, try not to let the mind go in different directions. In other, Gamina, to go, Anya, outward, Anya, other than what? Other than the Parama Purusha Divyam, other than the self, which is the self in all, that self, not the ego self, the self. So keep the mind there, and by practice, do not allow it to go anywhere else. And Anu Chintayan. So after Anu Chintayan is to think, meditate. Anu is after. After what? After getting information about that self, which then he gave. Because see, I told you, memory based on knowledge has to be correct knowledge. Otherwise, then that memory will be of incorrect knowledge. So he says, Anu Chintayan means first you listen to what the description of the self is, pure consciousness is, and afterwards then meditate on that, and by abhyasa, by practice, try not to let the mind go here and there. And so in verse 9, he gave us the description, his autobiography sort of. Kavim, I told you, Kavim is the goal. Kavim is Krant Darshina, means the one who knows the past, present, and future. That is what is the meaning of Kavi here, not poet, not a direct. Purana, I told you, that which is ancient, yet new. And if it is ancient and yet it is new, it is timeless. That is what it means. Anushasitam, Anushasana, Shasana, discipline. So the one who keeps this world going as per the karmas of every individual, the karma phala is given. So Anushasana is the one who keeps this world, us jivas, in place by giving us the results of our actions as per what we have done in the past and in the present. Anoraniyan, this subtler than the subtlest. Also, we should understand is to be bigger than the biggest, because so very, very subtle. It's like, the subtler than the subtlest is one thing, is so that the intellect doesn't have any concepts of pure consciousness. Because the intellect small, then we think, oh, how small is it? Big, how big is it? so that we don't have such concepts. And also, so this is how we go beyond the intellect. So we don't let the intellect form any kind of idea of pure consciousness. Subtler than the subtlest, see, that's why pure consciousness is known as one without a second. If you take the number one, that one is embedded in all the numbers up to infinity, right? If you take 2, 1 is there, 3, 1 is there, 10, 1 is there, 11, 1 is there. So 1 is in all the numbers. So this Anoraniyan, subtler, it is so subtle, it is all pervading. That is how it should be understood. Like one, the number one is all pervading. In all the numbers, no matter which number you utter, one is there. That way, no matter what you see in this universe, this pure consciousness is there. Okay? In and through the creation. Anu Smaredya. So that is the roadmap. Smaredya, remember, and then Anu. So understand these words and then remember him like that. That's why I gave you the example. You can say a name, and then if that belongs to your son or something, and if that son's name, son's figure comes to your mind, then it is of no good. That way you should know. Sarvasya dhataram. Sarvasya, the holder. The dhataram is to hold. How is he holding? By keeping everything in place. Dhataram, achintya. Achintya cannot be thought by the intellect or the mind because he's formless. Generally, we think qualities, or those type of things, but it is without any qualities, pure consciousness, and therefore it cannot be thought of. Aditya Varnam, that is the brilliance of the sun, but must not be taken as, oh, that's how brilliant he is. No, what should be understood is that brilliance in the sun is because of him. And I gave you the example, the validity of sun depends on a conscious being. Otherwise, the sun cannot be validated. And that is how it should be understood. Tamasa parastat, beyond all darkness. Beyond darkness, beyond light as well. So beyond knowledge and beyond ignorance. That which lets us know that I know something and simultaneously I don't know something. That is what this knowledge is, with a capital K, as Gurudev would put it. All other knowledges are with a small k. Knowledge of physics, chemistry, mathematics, whatever is small k. But so the knowledge of physics does not indicate to me that I am ignorant of chemistry. That knowledge of physics is okay. There is physics and there's knowledge, and that knowledge is there. But that is not what is telling me that I don't know chemistry. What is telling me that I don't know chemistry, at the same time when it is telling me that I have knowledge of physics, is this supreme knowledge with a capital K. And that is what the pure consciousness is. It is knowledge itself. Chit. And then Bhagavan says, Prayana kale manasa chalena bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva. Yoga bala, strength. On the strength of yoga. What yoga? Abhyasa yoga. Right? Because all his life he has practiced. He has practiced keeping his mind at that one point. Which point? Verse 9. Coming at that point he has practiced. So at the time of death then, and I told you this before also, at the time of death, all our faculties have become weak. We will not be able to do something which we have not done throughout our life. Suddenly you can't start learning something new, So that is difficult. So that's why abhyasa, start from now. Then at that time, keep your focus. Even in chapter 6, we have seen this. Concentrate on this point, they say. This is, it's a chakra. Pranam aveshya samyak satam param purusham upaiti divyam. So if you keep at the time of departure, when the yogi, yoga balena, on the strength of the yoga of abhyasa, see, this is all meditation. This is not knowledge. That he has done the practice. He has got correct knowledge, and then he has practiced keeping the mind there. So effort is there, action is there. But at the time of death, if that, because of that practice, he is able to keep the mind over there, then he will come to me, because Bhagwan already said, whatever is your last thought, that is what you will become. If your last thought is the deer, like Jada Bharat, you will become a deer. So last moment, if he can keep this, and to keep that thought at that point, at the last moment, he must have done practice all his life. Otherwise, this is not going to happen. Okay, that is what Bhagwan is saying. And then Yadaksham Ved, an introduction to the, now Om meditation, I told you in the Vedas, it is only Om that we will be meditating on, the supreme reality. So that which is, Bhagwan is saying, that which is declared imperishable by the Vedas. And I told you Om, how it is imperishable. It represents names and forms. The form might get destroyed. Form gets destroyed, because of which the name gets destroyed. Sure. But will the alphabet get destroyed? So if there is a computer, now computer might not work. So this word computer is gone, but do the alphabets COMPUTER go away anywhere? No, they don't. So Om represents the alphabets, A, O, and Ma. And that's why no matter if the form gets destroyed, name along with that form will get destroyed, but the alphabets will not. And therefore Om becomes imperishable. Okay. And then that which the self-controlled and desire-freed enter. So self-controlled, because the question itself began with the qualification of self. How does a man of self-control, how does a man who has controlled his mind, what happens at the end of his life? That is, self-control is the qualification. So he says, this is how the self-control and desire-free. One, because whatever desire is there, that if that person thinks of that desire at the last moment, that is what he will carry into the next birth. That's why. So that desiring which brahmacharya is practiced. So that desiring which means Om. And brahmacharya is control of all the senses. So desiring that Om, desiring the self, desiring the liberation, desiring mumukshutva, when I have controlled all my senses, controlled all my desires, and I have practiced keeping my mind constantly on that one spot without na anyagamina, without letting it go here and there, that goal I shall tell you about. This is what Bhagwan is saying. This is what we saw last time. Then Sarvadvarani Sanyamya Manoruddhi Niruddhicha. So Sarvadvara, all the senses where the mind is capable of running out, has been running out throughout, but then this person has practiced not to let the mind run out. Na Anyagamina, remember, it is not allowed the mind to go anywhere here or there. Then all these gates are as though closed. If the mind is not running out, then eyes may be open, but the mind is not running to that whatever it is that the eyes are seeing. That's fine. That's fine. Ears are hearing something, but that is not affecting me. That's fine. This is what he is saying. Mind in the heart, having fixed the life in the head here, engaged in concentration, then uttering the ones, then when he utters Om, because when he utters Om, what comes to his mind? See, there are people who name their children Om also. Son is also. I have a friend whose son's name is Om. But when this person is uttering Om, he is not thinking of any person. He's thinking of that imperishable goal that the Vedas have given and that Bhagwan has described in verse 9. That whole thing is coming into his mind when he says Om. That actually should come to our mind also when we say Om 3 times. Most of the time mind is wandering, but that's a different matter. But at that time, Omiteekaksharam Brahma Vyaharan Anusmaram. Again, Anu word is coming again. After. So after having known correctly, very important that we know the correct meaning of that word and then we utter it. Because whatever is the meaning is what is going into our conscience. If I say Om and it's my son's name or my friend's name, something, then if that person is coming to my mind, then that is not working. It doesn't work like that. When he gives up his body at that moment, then Sayati Paramam Gatim. So his thought of Om correctly, his thought of Om as that Puranam, Anushasitam, all those things, verse 9. And now he's given up his body. So he will go to Om. Because Bhagavan already promised that whatever is your last thought, you will go there. So we have to be very careful of what our last thought should be there. So we were on 14, right? My bookmark is on 14. Ananya cheta satatam yo mam smarati nityashah tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginah. I am easily attainable by that ever steadfast yogi who constantly remembers me daily, not thinking of anything else, O Partha. Bhagavan is saying, I am freely available. You know, if you, son, I mean, not Vancouver, but usually in India, like suppose you grew up in India, right? Bombay, Madras, sun is so easily available, isn't it? But if I choose to close the windows and keep them closed, so that way Bhagavan is saying I'm very easily available. I'm not difficult. But nobody is thinking of me. Bhagavan, he laments. As though laments. Nobody thinks of me only. I am standing here, like I told you, Vittal Bhagavan is standing there. Come to me, come to me. But we don't have the time or the energy or the whatever. We don't. So ananya chetaha satatam. Ananya, the means ananya cheta means the one whose chetaha is mind, the one whose mind is not going into anya is other. Ananya means not other. Is there, right? Anya and ananya. So ananya means not other. So the one whose mind doesn't go anywhere else, such a yogi here is one who is striving for the higher. Yogi who is trying to join to the higher. Okay. So such a yogi, Abhyasa yoga who is practicing, for him, I am always available. The minute you think of me, I appear. The minute you think of me, I appear. But people don't think of me only. That's the problem. Tasyaham sulabham part. Sulabha, very easy. Sulabha, very easy. You just say my name and I'll be there. See, there is a story. I don't know if I've told you the story. So it is said that when Draupadi met Krishna, after all that drama had happened, she said to Krishna, it seems, how come you took so long to come to save me? He said, have I told this story? Has everybody heard this story? All of you have heard, everybody remembers also? Okay. So that is the thing. Bhagavan said, I was ready. When did you think of me? First you went here, then you went there, then you went to all the kings, then you did all this, then last you came to me. So who delayed? That is what we do. We think I can do this. And then I go here and I go try that and do that and do that and do that. So easy way is first only you surrender and you say, oh, Bhagwan, this is a project that I'm taking on, just help me. Easy, no? Sulabh. It is very easy, but we don't, our ego doesn't let us do that. We think I can do it. Better to put ego under, put under, surrender and just say, Bhagwan, that is why I told you, anything you start with Om or whatever, Har Har Mahadev, whatever. And he will be there. He's there. He's waiting for us. The story of Gajendra also is there. So when Gajendra called, Gajendra Moksha from Bhagavad, right? There was this elephant who got caught by a crocodile. He was a devotee of Lord Vishnu. So he called out, Vishnu, Hari, save me, save me. It is said that Bhagwan was actually eating food. He was having his lunch. And his, his Gada, Chakra, his weapons, but they were resting, right? He's eating. So they were on the table, like they were over there. He just halfway, he's left his food and he got on Garuda and went, and in those weapons, they started flying behind him. He didn't even wait to take the Gada, Chakra, nothing. He didn't even wait. And halfway he left his food and he sat on the Garuda, and then he went. And then it is said, as Garuda approached, he thought still Garuda is going very slowly. So he actually, it seems, jumped from the bird and he jumped onto that crocodile and killed him. That is how Bhagwan is saying, that is how much available I am. I did not even wait to take my weapons. I don't even need weapons. They started flying after him, it seems. Because he had no time for that. Because he said, no, my devotee is calling me. Now I have to go right away. That is how easy it is. But if we don't call only, that's why I get into the habit of calling him. No chick chick. Just take his name. That's easy, easy. Okay. So this is what he says. Nitya Shah, always. This also I've always, many times I have said this. Any simple grocery list also you write Om on top. We've got passwords. Take passwords, with his name. My password is Krishna for this computer. I'm telling you, just my general password. Krishna. Very easy. When Swamiji is coming, Krishna, no problem. That means I've taken his name. No, well, when I open my computer only, I've taken his name. I thought of him. And when I think of him only. Right? So easy. It is so easy. Then why should we struggle? Why should I do? In the morning class also, that question came. Why should I take Jivan? Why should I hanker for liberation? There also Bhagwan answered differently. All the karmas will get destroyed. Now here, same question Bhagwan is answering. Same question. Why should one struggle so hard to realize the self? This is exactly the same question that in Tattva Bodh, Bhagwan Shankaracharya brought up. Why should one realize the self? Now Bhagwan Krishna is answering now. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam shashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gataha. Having attained me, these Mahatmas or great souls do not again take birth, which is the house of pain and is non-eternal, they having reached the highest perfection, moksha. The same Mahatma is referred as Jivan Mukta Purusha in Tattva Bodh. It's exactly the same. Okay. Having attained me is having realized the self. That is a technical book. That's why the term that Bhagwan Shankaracharya is used there is Jivan Mukta, liberated by living, having realized his self to be the self in all. This is exactly having attained me, because it is not the form of Krishna. Me, capital M, is put in capital M to indicate that he's talking as the supreme self. So having attained me means there's nothing to attain, having realized his oneness with me. So he's a Jivan Mukta, or here you can say Videha Mukta, because at the last moment he realizes he's going to drop his body now. Last moment he realizes, he comes. Then what happens? No more birth. All his life he lived, but last moment, now there is no more birth. Therefore he says, do not take birth. Why? That's what Bhagwan Shankaracharya explained there. Well, Sanchita karma and Agami karma is getting burnt right away. And this is the moment of death. So that's why Prarabdha karma is also finishing now. So at that time he has taken. So this is slightly different than Jivan Mukta Purusha. What he has realized during his life, the body is still continuing. But that itself, that's why this chapter is about Krama Mukti. So this, all his life he did Abhyasa Yoga, he practiced. So see, we have a chance. So all our life, let us practice. Now that we have heard this, let us practice that, taking his name, remembering him in every endeavor, remembering him before and after the thing. If we take on something, if there is success, remember to thank him. If there is no success, still say, okay, thank you, Lord. Now tell me the way out of this. Just bring him into the picture, left, right, and center. That is how easy it is. That is how easy. I find it very easy, just leave everything to him and then let him take care. So he says, house of pain, dukkhalaya, alaya, home, dukkha, sorrow. This birth, but even Gautam Buddha has said, sarvam kshanikam, sarvam dukkham. So sarvam referring to this world, is kshanikam. Kshanikam, peripheral, ephemeral. Ephemeral. This world means changing. Kshanikam, every moment to moment, this world is changing. And we see that. Morning class also told you. Body is changing, mind is changing, intellect is changing. We are seeing the changes. Okay. So, and because it is changing, that change itself is a cause for sorrow. Because when things change, we are in our comfort zone. When something has to change, we become uncomfortable. So this whole world, samsara, we think we are happy and we think, but it is all fleeting. Fleeting it is. That is, it is not a permanent happiness. If you want something permanent, then this is the only way. And therefore he says, which is the house of pain and is non-eternal. So giving, they having reached the highest perfection because pure consciousness, that is it. It is one without a second, all pervading. So you've reached that. That is the final goal. That is what Vedas say. Moksha is the final goal for all human beings. So we have reached that. Now there is nowhere else to go. Been there, done that, don't want to do it again. You know, you've heard this term, like when you're just fulfilled, right? So this is the result. This is Falashruti. They say, why should I try to, remember you at the last moment? This is why. Exact same thing in Tattva Bodh. Now, but are there any who come back? Are there any who come back? Yes, there are lots who come back. Brahma bhuvana lokaha punaravartinorjuna mamupetya tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Worlds up to and including the world of Brahmaji. This is important. Some people think, you reach Brahma Loka and then Krama Mukti, you will get, some of them will get, and I'll tell you how. World of Brahmaji are subject to rebirth. O Arjuna, but he who reaches me, O Kaunteya, has no rebirth. Okay. So here, Brahma Bhuvana Lokaha. Brahma Bhuvana house, Loka, world, Bhuvana, Lokaha. Those who reach Brahma Loka. Okay, this is not Brahman. This is Brahmaji, who is the creator. Now, the creator himself is temporary. Creator is not permanent. Brahmaji is not permanent. Now you have reached a place of a person who is himself not permanent. Now you are going to become permanent. How can that be possible? So Bhagavan says here, people think that Punaravartino Arjuna, they will return. Brahma Loka is a point of return, like Swarga Loka is point of return, and it begins and it ends. Brahma Loka, because Brahmaji also begins and ends. Indra also begins and ends. All the devatas, they begin and end. Whatever begins will end. So Brahmaji, if he's beginning, then he will end. Then you have reached his place. So it has begun at some point in time. That is what Upasana, that is what those who are studying Taittiriya Upanishad, that is the main thing there. Upasana will give you something which begins. Karma which will give you something which begins. That is what Purupakshi argued there. He says, no, this will begin and it will not end. No, if it begins, it will end. So karma and upasana will give you something which begins. So here, some people, when they are doing, they might reach Brahmaloka. It's not easy to reach Brahmaloka. That is the highest world. It's not easy. Now, what is actually said also, that Brahmaji himself is the teacher and he gives the knowledge. He gives. But the thing is, if you are not still prepared, will you grasp that knowledge? That is the point. And the Brahma Loka, the way it should be understood is, suppose if I am a Vishnu Bhakta, so I'm praying to Vishnu or Shiva, whatever. Brahmaji, see, you reach Brahma Loka, then Brahmaji, Shiva is Brahmaji there for you because you have done Upasana of Lord Shiva. You do Upasana of Lord Vishnu, then Vishnu is Brahmaji over there. And so what happens is, when you see, you have done Upasana of Vishnu, you will see only Vishnu Bhagwan. And then that Vishnu Bhagwan can give you the knowledge, Whether you will get it or you are just seeing him as Vishnu and he's something other than me, because Upasana, the support is outside. So whether you see, if you do that, then after that merit is over, after that loka ends, for a long period of time it is there, you will come back. So here Bhagavan is saying, even if you reach Brahma Loka, it is a point of return. But if you reach me, then it is absolutely not a point of return. And that is why you should, that's why in chapter 2, already Bhagavan told Arjun, Arjun, you will get Swarga. Easily you will get. Very, very easy for you to get heavens. But there is a but. But that is a point of return. I don't want you to go to a point where from where you will come back. I want you to come to a place from where there is no return. That's why I want you to come to me. This is what Bhagavan is saying. Mamu petya tu kaunteya. Mamu petya. Mamu, if you gain me as the Supreme Self, then you shall not return to this world, which is Dukkhalaya. He already said this world is Dukkha. It's a dukkha. Now here he is explaining how Brahmaji's life works. Next. That's why we know Brahmaji is also temporary. As compared to us, see, I've told you, as compared to an ant, the elephant is eternal only, Elephant is living for 100 years. Ant is living for 100 days. If that ant looks, oh my God, this guy is like forever. Elephant is, or so huge. Elephant is so huge. If the ant is looking at the, so it's a comparative thing. So Brahmaji also for us, yes, he is eternal for us because we'll only live, 100 years maybe, or not even that much. Brahmaji will live for a lot more years than that. And that is what he's explaining here. It is a concept of time that is being now explained. Sahasra yuga paryantam arhyad brahmano viduhu ratrim yuga sahastrantam tehoratra vido janaha. Those people who know the length of the day of Brahma, which ends in 1,000 yugas, eons, and the night, which also ends in 1,000 yugas, they know day and night. This yuga, see, we have got 4 yugas. Right? Satya Yuga, then Treta, Satya Treta, Dwapara, and then Kali Yuga. We are in Kali Yuga right now. Okay. So this 4 yugas make one kalpa. Then all 4 together are known as one kalpa. This is what this is. This thing. And then 72 kalpas. And yugas, the number of years, human years, see for yuga, yeah, there it is on the right. Satya Yuga, 1,728,000 years. Treta, 1,296,000 years. Dwapara, 864,000. And Kali Yuga, 432,000. So Kali Yuga is the shortest. This is human years, huh? This footnote is here. So that is there is, and then there will be, this will come in Taittiriya Upanishad when we study. That's a different matter. So anyway, these are the human years. Now, human years we know. That's why it's given in human. So imagine how long these yugas are. 4 yugas make one kalpa. 72 kalpas make one manvantara. Make one manvantara. This is concept of time I'm giving you. So compared to us, compared to our, we know our 12 months. Okay, 1 year is 12 months. That many years. So Kali Yuga, if we take 432,000 years, human years is one Kali Yuga, just one Kali Yuga. 4 yugas make one kalpa, 72 kalpas make one manvantara. All right. And this one day of Brahmaji, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam, arhada brahmano viduhu, know that the length. So 1,000 yugas, 1,000 yugas is one day of Brahmaji. 1,000 yugas. Okay. 1,000. And then 1,000 yugas is the night. That is his day. That is his day. See, I'll give you another example, which is more like relatable. Pitruloka, right? We have Shraddha once a year for our ancestors, right? In Pitruloka, our 1 year is their 1 day. That's why we do Shraddha Karma once a year. Because when we feed the Pitrus once a year, that means we are feeding them every day. That is how this concept of time is. So here, the 4 yugas making into kalpas. Now, 1,000 yugas is 1 day, 1,000 yugas is 1 night. And Brahmaji, when he wakes up, this whole universe is created. And when it is time for him to go to bed, all the worlds go back into him. Pralaya happens. And then overnight he sleeps. And that is 1,000 yugas he will sleep. So there will be no creation during that time. All right. So know this, Janaha, those people who know the length of which ends in 1,000, night which also ends in 1,000, they are the ones that know this concept of time. So point is that Brahmaji's also day begins and Brahmaji's day also ends. Like our day. Ours is only 24 hours. It ends very fast. But there is beginning and there is end. That's the point. All right. Then, avyakta-dvayaktaya sarvaha pravad prabhavantyah ragame ratragame praliyante tatraivavyakta sagyake. From the unmanifested, all the manifested proceed at the coming of the day. At the coming of night, they dissolve verily in that alone, which is called the unmanifested. So this is now what he's going into is the topic of creation and destruction. This is what now we understand here. So individual, if you take, see, our day begins when we wake up in the morning. And I've told you this before also. When do we wake up? We think, oh, the alarm wakes me up. It is not the alarm that wakes us up. It is our vasanas, hidden vasanas, when they are ready to fructify for a particular day, we wake up. That's why even if you don't put the alarm, you will wake up at some point in time. And there are times when you do put the alarm and then you just hit snooze and you fall asleep again. Is that not our experience? All of us, right? Both we have experienced. We can switch the alarm off and then we think, oh, 5 minutes, I'll just take a little snooze. And the next thing we know, it's 1 hour is gone. Okay. So the point is that the vasanas are what are dictating this waking up. And when do I fall asleep at night is when the vasanas for that day are exhausted, then I fall asleep. Same way. This Brahmaji's day also, he wakes up when the total vasanas are ready to fructify. That's why when at the beginning of the day, what is said is, from the unmanifested, all proceed at the coming of the, what is the coming of the day means? Brahmaji waking up. What is the coming of the day for me? I mean, if I'm sleeping till 12 afternoon, then the day begins at 12 for me. So coming of the day means waking up of Brahmaji. What happens is the unmanifest. So what is being said? See, unmanifested becomes manifest means what? Means nothing actually got destroyed. Is it saying, see, if it would have said that at the coming of the day, all these new things came out. It's not saying like that. What was unmanifest is becoming manifest. Unmanifest, not seen. Manifest, seen. Which means that whatever at night went was already there. So indicating that this creation is a circle, it's a cycle. There is no destruction happening at any point in time. This is to be understood. Otherwise, verses seem very simple. Avyaktat avyakta. So from avyakta, from unmanifest, this manifest world is coming. And when did it becomes when his 1000 yugas finish, that means his one day is finished, then he goes to sleep. And at that time, when he goes to sleep, all these worlds merge into him. All the jivas merge into him. So that nothing got destroyed. They just become unmanifest. And when he wakes up, same like us. We go to sleep. Otherwise, in deep sleep, all of us would have been realized only, na? If vasanas would have gotten destroyed, then we are realized. But vasanas are not going anywhere. They're only becoming unmanifest. But that one day, those vasanas are exhausted for me, individual. So I go to sleep. Then in the morning, when a new set of vasanas has to fructify, then I wake up. Not because of the alarm clock. I think that it is the alarm woke me up. It's not like that. Okay, so this is what's happening in the totality. What is being explained here is totality. This topic of creation and destruction, when we understand it correctly, it should actually result in dispassion for us. That is the idea. Why is Bhagwan suddenly bringing in creation and destruction? Something he has to have in mind, na? So this is why, because suddenly, first it was what the question was, what is the control? How does the control mind think at the time of death? Now all creation also understand it now from Bhagavad Gita point of view. भूतग्राम सेवायं भूत्वा भूत्वा प्रलीयते रात्र्यागमे वश पार्थ प्रभवत्यहरागमे. This same multitude of beings are being born again and again. Note these words. And are dissolved into the unmanifest helplessly, O Partha, at the coming of night, and they come forth again at the coming of day. Okay. So what is to be understood from it? What is he saying here? Like I told you, whatever was there just merged. It did not get destroyed. When the day began for Brahmaji, something suddenly all new things came up. No. It's the same jivas who went in. Then they will come out as per whatever karmas they've done. They will come out in those different bodies. Okay, because at pralaya, what is happening? Everything is getting destroyed. Remember that. That means if I were to live and I would see, Samarth Ramdas describes this pralaya very well. He says what will happen is for 100 years there will be no rain. That's how he describes in Dasabodh. For 100 years, if there is no rain, there will be no plants, no vegetation. Okay, it will be so dry that the fire there will be no water, right? Fire will consume the earth. No water, no fire, no earth, no water. So these are the elements. We are going now from gross to subtle. So earth will go, water will go, fire, the wind will blow the fire away. So fire will go. And then the wind will merge into space. And space will then merge into Ishvara, into Brahma. So what has happened is nothing, and then the same thing. This is what Bhagavan is saying here now. Now, all the same thing when we saw creation, even in Tattva Bodh, we saw how does creation happen? Space comes first, then air, then fire, then water, then earth. So that same thing that merged, same thing is coming. This is what Bhagavan is saying here. This is also for us to overcome the fear of death. That's why I've always told you, there is nothing like death. There is no end. It is only a comma. Death is not a full stop. It is a comma. Nothing is getting destroyed. Soul is eternal. Body is getting recycled. The five elements that the body has come from are going back into the five elements. Five elements are going back into your Brahmaji, you can say, or Ishvara, technical language, Ishvara. This Brahmaji, same, going. And then when he wakes up, those same elements is Are there some different elements? Same elements. So the same multitude are being born again and again and again. And if you want to get off this cycle, you need to realize yourself to be that pure consciousness. Then from the, there's word in mathematics called tangent. Have you heard? Tangent is there. So there is a circle and you're going in circles only, right? Birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, we're going. Now what we want to do is we want to fly off on a tangent. So fly away from this cycle, away from this circle. And the only way of doing that is to recognize ourselves to be that supreme reality. So he's multitude again and again. And that is again and again into the unmanifest. So manifest goes into unmanifest, the same unmanifest is coming back. See, even in Bhagavad Puran, Brahmaji is described as he was asked to create, then he meditated, it seems. What did he meditate on? He meditated on how did I do the previous creation? That is what he meditated. Bhagavad, read Bhagavad. That will tell you. Bhagavad Puran says, because they describe, Bhagavad describes creation, they different texts describe creation in different ways. Actually, it is one and the same thing. And ultimately, all of it is an illusion only. So Bhagavad Puran says, Brahmaji meditated. Then he said, Atha. That was the first word that he uttered. And he remembered, whoa, this is how I did it. It's, simple. I do something for 2 years, I don't cook something, then I also meditate. How did I do it 2 years ago? Because I can't find my recipe written. Otherwise, I just go look in the book and I'm like, okay, let me not even think. But if I don't have the recipe, then I'm meditating. How did I do it last time? Oh, I think I did this way. Exactly what Brahmaji is doing. We are also doing the same thing. In our individual worlds, we do the same thing. No. So this is what? Helplessly, this word is important. Helplessly, why? Because we saw in chapter 4, Bhagwan's birth is out of choice. Avatar is out of choice. Ours is not out of choice. Ours is as per the actions that we have done in the past. Sanchita karma, we just talked about it this morning. That Sanchita karma determines what type of body I am going to come back in. And that is why we need to take care of the kind of actions that we do, the thoughts that we think. Kathopanishad says karma and thought behind that karma determines the next birth. So that's why helplessly word is used here for that. Why are we helpless? Because we have already done those karmas. Now those karmas are going to fructify, and that is the type of body we are going to get. That is the type of pain and pleasure that the body is going to go through. That is what is known as prarabdha karma. That is what is prarabdha karma. Helplessly, O Partha, at the coming of night, and they come forth again at coming of day. Okay, night is Brahmaji's night, 1000 yugas. All of us will go back in there, and then in the morning of Brahmaji, which is after 1000 yugas, we'll come back. So it gives us the concept of time. It should give us dispassion that, helplessly, like, that's why I said, no, who did I tell? That's why we are known as Jantu. Jantu is insect. We're like insects only, anything that is born. Helplessly, we are going round and round and round. We have a choice. We've got the human body. We have a choice now. So let's not try to be helpless. Let's try to put in self-effort and get out of this cycle. And then it is also for us to understand that death is only a comma. It is not a full stop. So there need not be fear of death. Okay. Now, parastasmatu bhavonyah avyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yah sarveshu bhuteshu nashatsu nashati. But verily there exists, higher than that unmanifested avyakta, another unmanifest, which is eternal, which is not destroyed when all beings are destroyed. Now he's referring to the supreme reality. So far, what did he say? There is Brahmaloka. From Brahmaloka, it is a point of return. Who is Brahmaji? Brahmaji is the one whose day is 1000 yugas and night is 1000 yugas. Okay, what is the function of Brahmaji? During function means when he wakes up, coming of day, then all the unmanifest comes into manifest. And then when he closes his eyes and when he sleeps after 1000 yugas, all the manifest goes into the unmanifest. For us to understand that there is nothing like death, there is nothing like destruction. Whatever was there only is being recycled, recycled, recycled. Bhagavad Puran will say Brahmaji meditated. Bhagavad Gita is saying he woke up and he knew everything manifested. You take whichever way you take it, it means exactly the same thing. Bottom line is there is nothing new. There is nothing new. Everything is all recycled. We were all there before. All the jivas were there before. All the jivas are there now. All the jivas will be there further down. But beyond all this, there is a supreme reality which is neither going to sleep nor waking up, nor is there any creation, nor is there any destruction, and that which is eternal. This is not eternal, na? Brahmaji, 1000, after 1000 yugas, at least he will, this thing. And his post also changes. Huh? Different Brahmajis are there in different manvantaras, whatever. That is another topic in itself. So this, he says, this is what is permanent. I am what is permanent. That's why you come to me. And you will be saved from this coming, going, manifest, unmanifest, all this coming, going. Parastasmatu, para, tu, but, indeed, but, that there is something supreme, superior to all this. From this, superior to the manifest, superior to the unmanifest, that which is illumining both the manifest and the unmanifest. That is what I am. That is what I told you. This knowledge, which is giving me the awareness that I know physics, and at the same time giving me the awareness that I don't know chemistry, that which is awareing the manifest as well as awareing the unmanifest. That is what I am. That is what we have to manifest. Unmanifest is a circle, cycle, manifest, unmanifest, manifest, unmanifest, manifest. So day, night, day, night, day, night. Now get off on a tangent beyond day and night and go to one who is illumining both day and night. That is what Bhagavan is saying here. That is what it is there. Okay, and there is another unmanifest, he's saying. So that's why the next question will come. Then is the unmanifest supreme? No. This is, in chapter 7, Bhagavan said, Jiva, Ishvara, is Ishvara supreme? No. Turiya is supreme. There is something beyond Jiva and Ishvara. Para, Apara, Vidya, and then there is Turiya. This is what Bhagavan is saying again here. Any questions? We'll stop here. It's only about 28 or 28 verses. So another 8 verses. Are there any questions? I needed to ask all of you, the 8 o'clock class, next week is a long weekend. But the 8 o'clock class, I gave them a choice and they have chosen to have the class. I am not going anywhere. So I'm giving all of you a choice as well. Would you like to have this class or would you rather take a break? Silence.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you're okay because you said yes for the 8 o'clock. Those who said yes for the 8 o'clock class, I think they are all okay.
I think it's up to you. If you're okay, I think nobody gonna have matter.
Yeah, no, I am not traveling. Like I said, but I will be, my classes will be suspended starting 14th of November. I'm going away. So from mid-November to end December, there won't be any classes. That's why I would like to finish this and perhaps we can finish the discussion. And all of you are interested in doing the discussion for this one? Okay, so I will make the verses. Did I already? No, I will, yeah. And so, so next Sunday, there will be a class. Next Friday, I have canceled the class. Next Friday, there is no class. Next Saturday, there is no class. And next Monday also there won't be a class. I'm just telling you. So it's only the Sunday class that will be continuing both classes. Okay. All right. And just Nitya, that I saw you, you do know that the Friday classes have started, right, Nitya? You are registered.
I am, Jayaji, a little bit of a change in my schedule that I have not been able to attend.
That's fine.
And, my thing is when I commit, I want to be very regular with that, not come and
No,
go as I please.
I kind of thought that, but I thought I'll just ask you instead of sending you a message. You can always access the recordings.
Thank you.
Okay. So have a good week, and I will see some of you tomorrow evening. Narad Bhakti Sutra, we'll try and maybe complete it tomorrow. Let's see. And if not, if there are no questions, then we can close today for today. Okay. All right. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahimmahishaha Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Desho Yamkshobarahita Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Om Sarvesham Swasti Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kasyat Dukha Bhavet Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Okay, Hari Om everybody. I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jayaji. Hari Om.
Please do write to me if you're interested in the chanting class, okay?
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.